So let's take a look at what like a $20 iPad can get you. You get these in all sorts of various prices, but this is an iPad mini first generation. This was originally released in 2012. Don't mind the fingerprints, after all, you have to touch the device. But yeah, that might make it look a bit gross. But yeah, this was originally released in 2012. It runs an A5 processor. It's got a 7.9-inch screen, and these can be had really cheap. Now, there is a reason for this. It doesn't run iPadOS. The last OS update on this is 9.3.6, but it's still a nice looking tablet. It's still very sleek. I think it's 7.2 millimeters thick, and you can also get it, if you really want, you can get it in a cellular version, which I have here. This is just the one I had lying in the drawer, but I wondered, what can you do with this device? I originally wanted to use this as a Kindle. This is where this all started. I couldn't use it as a Kindle because the Kindle app doesn't work, and that is where we'll start. Now, one thing you will find on this device is app support is very limited. If we go to the App Store and let's say we want to download something like Spotify, I'll show you what happens. So if we click on the Spotify icon, you're going to see this happens, and it says unable to purchase. It's not compatible with its iPad. And that is a problem with a lot of these apps. I wondered, what else can you use this for? Because it's a really nice device. The touchscreen's nice. It looks nice. The colours are decent. Even the speakers are pretty good still for this modern age. So I set out to find out what you can actually do with this device. So one of the things that does work well on this device is some of the other apps that come with Apple. The Maps app still works, well, to a degree. You gotta remember, this is going to be slower because it's running on the highest operating system that it can. The Maps app still works. Video works. You can go and watch videos that you've purchased on the iTunes store. Along, same with the music. As you see here, we have the videos that I have purchased. You can also do the same with music. You can also even listen to podcasts on this iPad. As you can see here, we have loads of different podcasts that we can just listen to on here, and that's kind of some of the things you can do with it. It's outdated, but there's still stuff you can do with it, and for the price, like I say, you can pick these up for about £20, around that price range. One of the interesting quirks of this older iPad though, if you look at the top there, you're going to see that the clock says 3:02. If I click on my watch, you're going to say that it's not. I don't know why, but I can't get this iPad to sync up to the clock. Like automatically, if you know when your clock changes, it just automatically syncs. I can't get this iPad to do that. This iPad does also have a camera, but by today's standards, this camera is pretty naff. It's a 5 megapixel, but you could also do FaceTime on this if you wanted to. But let's get into the apps. What would you use this thing actually for? And as you can see here, I've downloaded a variety of different apps that work. Sometimes when you come to the App Store, I have a screenshot of this. You're going to see this here, and it says, do you want to download the last compatible version? And if you click download, sometimes it'll work and sometimes it won't. It's like Monopoly here, for example. That app just crashes, doesn't work. Same with like this Streets of Rage app. Oh no, that one works. It's the same with this Among Us app. If we click on that, we get a black screen, and that's all we get. It doesn't actually load into the game. That one I did think was weird, but I thought I'd just try a modern game, and that just didn't work. The Streets of Rage, this one partly works, but you cannot get into the game. And we also have volume control as well. I'll speed this ahead. So this is what happens here. This app actually loads, but it's trying to load in all this other stuff down the side, and you just can't get it to work. Sometimes these will appear, and it's too busy. Maybe it'll start now. Oh, maybe it's starting this time. It's working for the camera. Let's just see what happens. And I think it's actually decided to work. It's decided to work for the camera. Typical. I was testing this, it's made me look a fool. But yeah, this game actually seems to be working, is it? Some of these games work, but they can be a bit stuttery. Well, some play well, and we'll get into that in a minute. But some of these older games that are on, I don't mean like this is because it's more like a ROM built into a game, but what I mean is some of these older app games do work. And that's one of the things I think you can use an iPad like this for, is those older titles that aren't necessarily compatible or are not updated. So we shut that down. So yeah, you could use this to play some of the older apps. We have an old version of Temple Run here, Most Wanted, Battleship, The Stick Skater, and we also have Minecraft and GTA 3. If we look at something like GTA 3, this is a little bit stuttery, but it still does work. As we can see here, it's loading up the visuals or like the story parts of the game, and it does load pretty quick. What we'll see now is we'll get some gameplay going. Why do things always take so long when you want to show people things? But yeah, you can see here we can run this game on the iPad. It's pretty cool. It might stutter a little bit, but I feel like it's as playable as any other touchscreen version of GTA. As you can see, you might be able to see some of the world loading in there. The render distance is not great, but I can't remember if this version of GTA 3 is actually that good. You can see that it runs on this iPad pretty fine, I'd say. We haven't got any audio on because of licensed music and things like that. Another game to try is Minecraft. I'm going to show you that one now. So as you can see here, when we load up Minecraft, it does say that this device is no longer supported, and we can't do everything for the most up-to-date, but we can still play. It does take quite a while to load. You can see there it says something about low memory and the textures. Take it this is just because we're playing it on the older iPad. It still does work, as you can see there. You might want to turn off some of the settings. I don't know if it saved the settings or not, but I did turn off fancy graphics and that did make it more playable. As you can see, it's perfectly playable, just like building or playing around. Maybe we could give this like a kid or something like that. But as you can see, Minecraft does indeed work to a degree. You won't be able to play online, I wouldn't say, but you can certainly do creative mode. One thing this iPad is still useful for is streaming video, but streaming video in certain ways. So for example, I have this BBC iPlayer app right here. Even though it said it will download the last compatible version of this app, it's still going to say that I have to download the latest version to access it. And you're going to find that a lot with some of these apps. Even the Amazon shopping app has this problem. As you can see here, it's brought us to the Amazon website now because it requires iOS 13 or higher. And that is one of the problems with this iPad when it comes to the age. But one surprising thing is that Prime Video works. And I think this device alone could be, if you watch a lot of Prime Video, could be really useful for watching Prime Video. And one of the cool things about this version of the Prime Video app is it supports channels. And while I'm talking, you're seeing this booting in real time, and it's signed me out. Why is it signed me out? I was watching this literally like half an hour ago. But you can watch Prime Video on here. You can also probably download the things to store on here. So maybe you could use this on a train or something. You don't want to get your phone out or use your phone's battery. Because like I said, this is still quite a thin and it's a nice looking device still. But you can also watch YouTube, not through the YouTube app, but you can certainly watch YouTube. If we go back to like one of my videos here on YouTube, you're going to see, I'm going to talk over this while we're playing in real time, just so you can kind of get an idea of what load time's like. Of course, this might be affected by my internet speed, but I think some of this is due to the iPad itself. And here's the video that went up the other day. And if we go to our settings on the video, it automatically goes to 360p. It doesn't look too bad on this device, but you can go to 720 on this. I don't know what if this is restricted. It's not a full 1080 display, so maybe 720p does look pretty good. So you can watch YouTube on this thing, and you can do some other web browsing. There are some things that aren't compatible with this. Like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to read Kindle books on this iPad, and I couldn't, even if I tried to load them on the web, it said that I had to have iOS 10 or higher. And that's the problem you're going to run into using an older iPad like this. In conclusion, what is this any good for? This is good for This is good for those people who just maybe want to play some of those older iOS games that are no longer supported on iPadOS. Or people who just want something, a cheap tablet, maybe to stream, watch a bit of YouTube in the web browser. Or, like I say, it's really good for Prime Video. And you can still listen to music and things, but you're not going to be able to listen to Apple Music or any of those newer services because they just are not supported by the operating system. There may be some other apps you may want to use. A lot of the apps are hit and miss on this. I find the best way to find apps is just going to my purchase section on the App Store. But this is a cheap tablet with limited ability, but it does have a nice screen. It's responsive enough. The speakers are good. And if you're an Apple user, you probably already have a lot of content, or you probably already have a load of these cables for charging it. It does also come with a 3.5 headphone jack. I don't know if it works with AirPods or not. I don't know if it'll work with like the AirPod update, but it'll probably work if you sync them as a Bluetooth device. I just hate seeing a device like this, something that's so good, being made obsolete. Because these cost a lot of money, and you kind of want to get use out of them. And the other thing is, with this iPad, if you do like it, you don't want to scratch the screen maybe, you can still get a smart cover. This is a smart cover that's been on this one for ages. But yeah, you can still get a smart cover, and you can use that smart cover, and you can use prop it up if you want to use this for watching video. So what do you guys think? Would you consider it? Have I shown you a way you can maybe repurpose your old iPad mini, or maybe a similarly old iPad? Let me know. And thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.